Hi Pisces, welcome to your week ahead Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant signs. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Pisces, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they speak to you. With that said, if you are a continued subby, you know I love you for it. And if you are new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week this week, you have the Fool card. You got that cosmic reset button. Are you going to press it, or are you just going to continue on the way that you are? The Fool card always shows up to say to you, there is a surprise. There's something on its way into you, something that you likely won't anticipate. It usually tends to be a it usually tends to be quite a beneficial influence. It's just something that comes up unexpected that you don't really kind of see coming, and as such I would say that this week you get a chance really to do something again or to do something new. You just have to choose to take a path that is different. For your actions and options this week, you have the Five of Swords, sorry. So the Five of Swords tends to be a card of conflict. It can be harsh words spoken, and because it comes up with the Fool card, this may be something really presses your buttons this week, where you kind of say, actually, you know what, usually I would bite my tongue on this, usually I would hold back, usually I wouldn't say anything, but this week I have to. And you know, this could be kind of, for a lot of people, they might receive this from you as like, oh, this is very out of character, but it's like you're done with being silent, you're done with being meek, you're done with holding back, and it's like, you know what, I have to say something now, not only for my own sanity, but also for my own integrity. The other way that this could play out for you as well, this could be an argument that comes up that you might not necessarily understand, but you're prepared to have. So maybe somebody says something to you, like a friend or a family member, and you're like, whoa, okay, where is this coming from? And rather than, you know, back down or kind of, you know, oh, okay, just shrink into the background, you're going to meet them head on. And I think, you know, that can be quite sort of like, oh, okay, do you know what I wasn't, you were supposed to say, do you know what I mean? And they're not getting that this week. Good for you. For your communications and conversations, you have the Page of Swords. So just be careful this week, right? You want to make sure that you get your point across, but you don't want to come across as obnoxious, and you don't want it to seem like you're lashing out. This is a week where you really need to measure your responses to things. The reason I say this is because you've got the Page of Swords in the communications and conversations. So your responses, like what you say, is valid information, but how you say it is going to be everything this week, right? If you want it to have maximum effect, you can't go in effing and blinding, and you know, like, don't get me wrong, that will definitely get some raised eyebrows because people don't expect that from you, because they don't usually get it. But this week you could really, and you just want to make sure, I mean, you know, while anybody that knows you will definitely take note, because they'll be like, rah, okay. You know, didn't know all of that was in there. You know, they might get more than they bargained for, or bite off more than they can chew, but you just don't want that to get lost in translation. For those of you that work for somebody else, this could be a message that you are receiving from your boss. It's likely to be an email or a phone call that comes through. This could be about something that you've done really well. It might be that they're asking you to, there's something that they're asking you not to do. And again, because you've got that Five of Swords there, it's like, you're like, no, you know what, this was an overstep. Just find a way to temper what you say so that it is received for the message that it actually is. The content, not the delivery, is what matters. The delivery, not the content, is what matters here. Not that, you know, you wouldn't tell your boss to F you, like, with a smile, like, well, that's nice, F you. You know what I mean? Like, the content obviously matters, but you get my point. For those of you that work for yourselves, business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, this week, I would, because it looks like you're reaching out to someone. It looks like you either have a bone to pick or you've got something to say. And I kind of get this feeling that there's a part of you that kind of feels a little bit betrayed about something. And maybe this is quite new to you. Do you know what I mean? It's maybe like in hindsight, you look at something and you think, no, actually, you know what? You've not done me a good service there. And it looks like you're going to call it. Again, it's just the way you go about this is what's really going to matter. For your those of you that are retired or no longer working, if you are choosing to go back to school or study something, just be sure it's something that you're actually going to want to do for the long term. Because the thing is that this kind of feels like it might be a little bit of a flash in the pan energy, and you just, you know, time is the one most precious resource that none of us are making or getting any more of, no matter how wealthy or, you know, what our status is. It's the one thing that none of us can get back. So just be sure that it is something you want to invest your time in. For your money and materials, you have the Three of Wands. This is lovely, great card for money. Now, saying that, it is underneath the Five of Swords. So when it comes to money or finances this week, you might have to fight a little bit for what you want. Excuse me. You might have to fight a little bit for what you want. You might have to really put your foot down on something because you want something. Like, there's just a sense here that you're having to really stand up in some way. Now, that being said, when it comes to finances and money and materials, your finances look good this week, right? One of the things that I actually really like about it is it looks like some of you are planning to travel regardless of what's happening out in the world. You know, you are prepared to maybe starting to save for the holiday, maybe putting money away for the holiday. There's a strong sense here that it's like, I kind of know what I'm doing, which I really like. I think the other thing that comes up here as well, this week you're kind of not prepared to pay through the nose for something. Do you know what I mean? It's like, if it's a good deal, then it can be a good deal at a decent price. I'm not overpaying for whatever it is that I'm trying to purchase. For your physical health and vitality, this is going to be your head, your face, and the upper part of your jaw. So, you know, this whole sort of general area you want to look after. And then when it comes to, you know, especially here in the UK, because it's started to heat up now. So if you're going out, maybe wear a hat or at least put some sunscreen on, especially if you're like me, because got to protect the noggin. For your home and environment, it looks like some of you are starting to get itchy feet when it comes to the home. All right, so you're kind of in a place now where it's like, yeah, not sure how much longer this place is going to be viable for me. And we've seen this, right? Pisces is one of those signs that it came up consistently in readings that I did for the year ahead, and for weekly readings as well. There's this energy that, like, and this is something that has occurred this year more than ever in personal readings that I've done. You know, maybe this is part of the hangover from 2020. The space that people are living in has to be right for them. Now, it's been like that always, right? But more than ever, it has to be an energetic match. And I'm seeing that across the board, from business people right through to, you know, single mums, like, and everybody in between. It's like, no, my space doesn't reflect what I'm trying to do, who I am, what I'm trying to grow. My business isn't doing so well where I am. And it's like people are becoming astutely aware that their environment is not conducive to what it is that they're trying to build. Which I find so interesting, because if you saw the talk that I did with Heather over on her channel as a webinar, we talked about this energy where I was just seeing over and over mass migrations of people just leaving, like moving from, and here we are, right? So for your love and relations, you've got the Death card. So with to call a spade this week, for a select few of you, this may be where a relationship or a partnership comes to an end. Maybe you have that final conversation and just say, look, you know what? I love you, but I can't do it. Or this is where we part ways. Or this is no longer for me. Or maybe it's just reached its natural end and you've both stopped growing. That's not all of you. For some of you, this is going to be either your job or the partner's job is coming to an end or coming to a close. Maybe you're deciding to switch industries. Maybe you're deciding to change jobs. Maybe you're changing jobs internally. Doesn't always have to be doom and gloom. Another way that this could play out, for those of you that are single, someone that you had just recently met, somebody that you've been talking to, maybe, you know, flirting, boozing, schmoozing. Unfortunately, it does look like that's not going to go ahead. I don't know if it's because of the timing or if it's just because you guys aren't necessarily right for each other. Obviously, it's up to you to decide. You know, I can't tell you how to live your life, but based on these cards and these energies, that's what's coming up. For your eclipse message on the gate on the 10th of June, you have the gate 43 and ahead. And I love this card because the lady that designed these cards designed this one with me in mind. She actually kind of said, this is your card, because she said, I always think ahead, and she said you have this ability to spot opportunities. Well, that's what this card is about. There is an opportunity involved in this week, especially because of that eclipse, but you're going to have to look for it. You're going to have to look beyond and perceive what the opportunity might be, which I think is great. One of the things that I will say to you, yours is one of, you know, when you get it right and you keep your feet at least on the ground, Pisces is super intuitive, super psychic, super mystical and magical. Sometimes sifting through that is not necessarily easy, but if you use your energies in that way and direct them around the eclipse energy, you could really have some amazing insight to see what an opportunity is available to you at any given moment. All right. Anyway, with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.